All right. I think we're going to get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We've got a about equal representation here online and face to face. So I guess this is a hybrid workshop now. Uh, um, I know that a lot of people here have different varying levels of experience, whether just teaching with OER, what OER is, and then MyOpenMath. Um, I was introduced to MyOpenMath. Krista actually introduced it to me a couple of years ago, and I've now been. I worked on a committee where we used it to build the assessment, the calculus assessment. So that's if you're using that, that's completely built in MyOpenMath. I also am running this semester a class in college algebra that Krishna also built with MyOpenMath, and then I've also built courses for Calculus 2 and Calculus 1, and so I have a good amount of experience with MyOpenMath. It's got a little bit of a learning curve. Depends on what you want to do. The really nice thing about it though is that it completely levels the playing field, and it takes the publishers out of it. We have full control over the homework systems, or the homework that we're providing to our students in this situation, and it's completely free to them. And it would be one thing if you had to go in and write the code for every single problem and build it all from scratch. But there's an incredible community out there of mathematicians. I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands, I think, of contributing mathematicians around the country that are building homework problems from anywhere from kind of remedial mathematics up to differential equations, so the whole gambit. There are some sections opening up. I know they're moving to try to get a presence of chemistry problems in here and physics problems in here. I mean, it doesn't relate to us, but the community is growing, and just the community itself is really robust. I've had a couple times where I just get stuck. I don't know how to do a problem, don't know how to fix a bug or something, and I'll post it up on a blog, and within an hour, I feel like I get responses back. So there's a very robust community, very active community, and so I feel very, just I think MyOpenMath is here to stay. I don't actually know where its funding is coming from, if it is right now just a passion of heart. I think so, but I mean, eventually it's going to have to find funding somewhere. It's going to have to be supported, but that's not something that we need to worry about here. So, so what I've done here, I want to just kind of run this like the first probably 15-20 minutes. I'm just going to kind of go through MyOpenMath and just here. I'm going to stop the camera because it's disturbing to me. I'm going to keep getting distracted. All right. Martha, I think you said you're going to observe the chat. So if any question pops up in the chat, Martha, would you just kind of ring in and open it up so we could address it if we need to? Thanks. Yeah, so the order of operations here, I'm just going to kind of show the basic features of MyOpenMath for those who have never logged in before, never looked at it. You should have created an account. I hope you have an account before. So go ahead and log in, because we're gonna, even though right now you're just gonna watch me, but eventually we're gonna have you import a class into your MyOpenMath. I'm gonna stop calling it MyOpenMath. I'm gonna call it Mom. It's just too long. First thing, you log in. Your page probably looks a little bit different because I've got courses in here that I'm teaching. Those are what all are boxed to here, courses that I'm teaching, and then courses that I'm taking. For us, if you're an administrator, if you're a faculty, if you're a teacher, you're automatically enrolled in these two courses called support courses and training courses. And I highly recommend going through this training course. This is a wealth of videos that, again, the community has developed, walks through there's a section, just a quick start, bunch of videos, just how to generally get started, all the way down to how to edit assessments, manage your course, and then even deeper dives into other topics here. I haven't really explored this far down. We'll talk about a lot of the stuff that's in here. But as I said, lots of times you're just getting started. If you've got questions, you can just come to this page here and get a lot of answers. There's some really nice job. So that's your training course. Let me get this out of the way. So then so that's training course, and then the support course is just a bunch of blogs. So this is asking colleagues. I've used this feature a couple times where, again, I've got stuck. I couldn't figure out how to do something. I post either I search there, and if I can't find an answer, then I'll post. And I said the community talks back pretty quick. Some basic facts, different discussion boards. So these are just places I go, again, if I'm looking for answers. This is a great place to find that. So you all should be automatically enrolled in those courses, and you'll never be out of it. Probably most of you have no messages. This little region here will be blank. One of the great things, I was just talking about this with Krishna, is like Pearson, like MyLab, those features, you can send directly from the homework. You can send an email to your professor, say, I'm having trouble with this problem, so you get the email, and then you can write back. One of the things I really like about this is you can actually use math type, so you can actually write equations. You're not trying to hobble together symbols to make it look like you can write an integral. You can write true math equations on there, replying back to them directly in line with the text. Yeah, that right, exactly. There's none of that. So that to me is one of the coolest things that I just learned about it this semester. So and the students have really liked it. Say that again. Absolutely no license, because this is 100% open. This is a totally free resource. That is the one thing that I have not found something in this system that I'm like, oh, it doesn't have that feature that I have in MyLab. It doesn't have that. I've not found one feature, and it has, to me, tons of features that I always wanted to be able to do in those proprietary systems that I now have freedom to do because it's completely open. So I think you lose nothing with Mom and you gain a whole bunch. Maybe the only thing, I guess the one place where you lose is the customer support. That if something doesn't work, like I said, I have to reach out to the community, which has been good, but I don't have tech desk that I can call up and go, how do I do this? How do I fix that?
But then
they can't.
Community is even faster than.
I was gonna say, you got the community. Yeah. And so, and Krista and Jason and our hope is that through this, we're building a community here on Call-In, and that we will be that community local here, and then we have a bigger one. So that we don't have to have, that lack of technical support really is not an issue. So that might be the only one. So, okay, that's your landing page. So to get started, what I want you all to do is we're going to add a new course. So in your courses you're teaching, click the add a new course, and you'll get 3 options. And so let me just kind of start with a blank course. That seems obvious. Just tabla rasa, start from scratch. You can copy a template of a promoted course. We're not going to do that, but I'm going to click it for you just to show you what's in there. These are all courses that have been that are promoted by the community. So all these courses have kind of been peer reviewed. I don't quite know what that means, but in some sense it's been peer reviewed, and that it's got good structure, it's got good homeworks, everything's working. There shouldn't be very many bugs. And this is quite a long list. Like I said, we've got everything starting from arithmetic to calculus. Right. Well, here's our, we got arithmetic, algebra, pre-calculus, calculus, statistics, geometry. As I said, they're even building up some physics and chemistry outside of just math. But pretty much anything you would need up to differential equations, there are existing courses. Some of them are based on a textbook, a lot of them based on OpenStax, or some other textbooks that are free in the community. Some of them are agnostic of textbook. They're just systems with problems on them. But there's hundreds of template courses already out there. I would encourage you, take a look. You could preview them, which is really nice. I don't know, pick one at random. You can kind of preview the course and see how they've got it structured. This would be our LMS system, and it's built like this. So let me go back home. So that's one way you can go find an existing course. And of course, anything you download, it's now yours, and you can edit it, change it, do anything you want to it, make it personalized so it works for yourself. And we'll talk. What we're going to do today is kind of work through some of that. How do you edit a course once it exists? So we're not going to grab one there. We're going to grab one that I built. So from here, copy from one of my colleagues' courses. Go to my group's course. This is going to be the list of people here at Collin who are already members of MyOpenMath. And down here, go to Dustin Potter. Are there two of me? And it's not that one. Where's the where do you see this other one? Well, if you oh, I bet you, because I'm logged in. So do the one that's all caps. I didn't think about that. And you should see something called Mom Sandbox, or actually it's Mom Intro. So this is the name right there. So yeah, so come here. Sorry. So under here you should see the all caps Dustin Potter. That's weird that I'm in here twice. And pick the Mom Intro, and you should end up with a screen that looks like this. So if you say, so actually you're going to have some options, right? So actually, let me see what the options are going to be. So yeah, so okay, now that I'm not looking at it, whoops. Let's go back. Enroll, copy, mine. I don't know, let's just do this one. So that's going to need an enrollment key. All right. You can integrate with Canvas. It will integrate with Canvas. Sorry. Are all these set up? So I don't know the enrollment key for these. But this one should not have, so were you able to get through it?
Yeah, you just hit submit and you're in.
Okay. Yeah, just
Need to change it. Yeah.
you should, just leave everything the way it is. It'll be fine. There are options there. Do make sure it's clicked that you're going to integrate with LMS with Canvas. Was that, we could change it in a second. Yeah, we could change it even if you didn't. Everyone online doing all right?
Ladies,
Are doing good, huh?
Helen's good.
Yes, we're good.
Any course ID can I use? I'm not sure. So Josephine, should just pick the MyOpenMath workshop. If you want to rename it, you can, but you don't have to give anything else to it. Just import
because I used to have this account in TWU, so I don't think I'm in the group of our school. So
okay. Let me find it. Yeah, let me find the ID for you then. That's can you see the ID on the screen?
Yes, I do.
There it is. 201652 will get you that.
I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So so now everyone's got their course open, or they're looking at it. So let me just kind of point out the key features that are going here. The first thing I want to do is just take a look at the course settings. We could have changed this when we imported it, but I wanted to, they're still becoming different directions. So on the bottom left of this navigation, let's go to course settings. We'll see what's here. This enrollment key, I will typically leave blank. The only reason you would want this is if you wanted to share this with some students and not with others. At a level, if you're teaching a class online and you want to run your exams inside of what's the non-cheating thing called? Honor lock. You'll have to put no, you won't have to. I back up. I don't know a good reason to have an enrollment key unless you want to use this as your LMS and not Canvas. This system integrates so well with Canvas. I don't know why you would want to do that to your students, have them have a second place. You can, and there are some features that you can do in MyOpenMath that you can't do in Canvas, but that's kind of advanced. Everything else runs quite natively in Canvas, and it's nice. So if you wanted to run this and students logged into MyOpenMath, you would need an enrollment key. Otherwise, what I'm going to demonstrate is just importing it into Canvas and running it there, and the students won't even know that they've left the Canvas universe. So then there's some other features here. You can put a restriction on when the course is available. So basic just availability, access. This probably doesn't need much explanation. You could change the dates. Here's where when you imported it, you forgot to tell it to have the LMS set your due dates. I strongly encourage having that toggled. The first time I used MyOpenMath and inside of Canvas, I had all my dates in MyOpenMath and didn't realize, oh, I need to change them. And then I would change them in Canvas, but it wouldn't migrate over to MyOpenMath. So the students kept getting told that their assignments were late or they were getting points off for being late. So instead of having to manage dates in two different places, because if you do it the other way, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just change the dates in MyOpenMath. That also doesn't sync over into Canvas. And so the dates don't. So if you don't have that button toggled, you'll have to change dates in both places at the same time. So I always toggle that. And I set, once it's in Canvas, I set my dates there. This is whether you want people to have access to the course. So this one I built so that anybody could copy it because I wanted you guys all to be access to it. Now that it's yours, you could decide, do you want to keep this behind a firewall so that you're the only one looking at it? Since you may be using this as your sandbox, that may be a good idea. Or, if you want to share it with a small group, but you just want to give access to those with a key, then you could change all sorts of things here. You could also, this is pretty similar to like MyLab or those. You could set late passes for students. You could set how many you want to give. And these are just when a student wants to, it's past the due date, they want to still work on the homework and get credit, they apply one of their late passes. So my standard is to give about 5 out a semester. Then I don't have to deal with, oh, let me get in and extend you on it. They just use it and they get a free pass to do it late. You can set penalties. Yeah, you could set penalties. I don't think you could set penalties on the global scale, but on each assessment, you could get in and you can even decide this assessment, I don't want to allow late passes. So when we create an assignment, we'll look at that too. And then this is that message system. I said, I've got this set up so students can send to each other if you want. If you want to restrict that, you can. And a bit. So those are just like the basic settings. The biggest one I want to point out though is if we're going to use Canvas, make sure that radial is toggled. Whoops, wrong way. Messages. This is where from your students. Forums are what I just talked about. These are basic tools for managing your class, your calendar, your roster. we'll talk more about questions. This is how you can, if you have your own question bank or you're using other question banks, this is where you would manage it, and the libraries. So this is all just kind of you're managing your assessments. You can
Yes,
copy.
just
So you could copy an entire course. You could copy sections of a course. I've done that several times, especially if I'm building something on the fly. I'll maybe kind of build it, like I said, in a sandbox, and I'll grab pieces out of it and send it to another course. So very similar to Canvas, where you can import, export from your different modules. One really nice thing, I probably won't demonstrate it here, but I have fallen in love with this. Just doing mass changes. Instead of having to go through, like in Canvas, we've got to go through one assignment at a time and change it. This is more kind of like MyLab and those things where I can change due dates for a bunch of assignments at the same time. I can change point values. I can go and change kind of restriction settings. It allows a lot of mass changes. And so this is something I use quite a bit. So, get kind of standard, basic, hopefully obvious navigation stuff in that left pane. So what we're going to do for the rest of this class now is I built this shell to really guide us in practicing different exercises. So these are the three kind of things I wanted us to do in this course, is to be able to modify existing content, import existing material, and then export to Canvas. So those are our three goals for today. Oh yeah, I put in here, I forgot that I put this here. I put a bunch of little, we're not going to go over this, but again, just some really quick resources again, if you've never done MOM, these are just some really quick resources that explain a lot of features. So first things first, these are the instructions. So if you'll just drop down expand it. We're going to, what do we do? So we're going to, so in this block, I forgot what I was going to do. In the above block, the last entry is a wiki page. Is that really true? I think so. Oh yeah, that's right. So, okay. So let's give some vocabulary words. These things are blocks like that I keep expanding and opening and closing. This would be a big block. And at the end of the block, you can see it's different. These are inline text, and this is what's called a wiki page. Inline text is, information you want the students to read. So this would be like a page in Canvas that they would see. Wikis are kind of cool. They don't translate well over to Canvas, but they do work great in MyOpenMath. This would be a place where if you wanted students to interact, and so I'll just click it. They could any student could get in and edit this page. And so it'd be a place where students could contribute and add to it. So what I want us to do, so this is just kind of the first step. So in that above block, instructors for resources, we're gonna delete the wiki page and use the add item drop. So I'm not gonna read this. I think you all can read. Here are the instructions. Sorry. Go ahead and whether you're online or in face, let's just go ahead and follow these. You got any questions? Ask away. And I'll keep this on the screen because I know once you start changing things, you won't be able to see this anymore. You're gonna have if you don't have multiple monitors on the folks online. I created a PDF of these instructions as well, so you could download that and have that open if you wanted to. Okay, so hopefully you've created that page. And one of the things I wanted you to look at is that if you go to student mode, because of the way it's set, that top block, it's restrictions where that it's only viewable, it's hidden from students. Purposely created that. So of course, if we just built a page and put it in there that we want students to look at, they wouldn't be able to see it. So we need to be able to move it. So we can come back here. And moving is pretty easy. There's a couple ways to do it. One way is just right here, just move. And you say, I want to move to the workshop block, and I'll put it at the top. So that's one way to move things around. Another way, so we could see it's, this is right here. So this is my inline text showing we've got it now. Another way to move things is to use the quick rearrange. And now I can just drag and drop things around. If I wanted to move this here and move this thing up there, of course, I don't want to do any of that. Actually, let me just move these guys both into here. And now, so to me, there's a much more, if you're going to move a bunch of stuff around, this is definitely the way to do it. And then save changes, and then we go back to instructor mode. And so now we've got our text sitting inside of our content. So we've created a page, not too hard. And then what I just showed you was how to quick rearrange, right? Any questions? Online, any questions? Okay. So that's basic modification, pretty straightforward. So let's import some material. So now we're gonna just get I think I just want you to import anything you want to do. So let's go over here to the copy from. Again, we could copy from, if it's one of your existing courses, you could pull stuff over. If it's a colleague's course, you could just, again, pull it over, provided they've given you the permissions. I'm going to say let's go out into the universe and grab anything from here that we want to grab. So doesn't really matter what interests you. And I'm going to recommend, instead of copying the entire course, let's just grab maybe an assessment or something. So again, this is their outline of the course I just looked at. So maybe let's get some media and maybe a quiz and actually, let's do homework. Let's do that. I'm just going to grab 2 of those and import it in. So again, you don't have to grab this one, any one you want. All I did is I went to the, say that again. So browse courses, find anything you want, and then say copy the course. Of course, we're not going to copy the whole course. So you say, okay, I'm going to select an item to copy. And now I'm in a totally different one, but how about let's do integers. Let's do exercises. Exercise 1, exercise 2. So I clicked them. Again, we've got some features here. You can click or unclick them. They don't really change much. And then you could tell it where you want to copy it into. I'm going to go ahead and copy this into our importing existing material. If you don't, it'll just end up at the top of your page. Copy it in, and we should see it. Here's our exercises now that we just copied in. And so we could take a look at this. So if I want to preview it, here's what the assignment looks like. Because we're in the teacher preview mode, we've got the cheats. We can see what the answers are. Some things to check out here. I mean, one, this is what this question is worth 10 points. This is the setting that they have 3 tries on each for each question. But they can ask, if you're a student, you want to try it again. It'll generate up to 99. I think that's just means I think 99 is their number for essentially infinity for the students. And then I don't know what that really is. So oh, right. If students have done it, you could click on that and see how many they've done. So some things to notice in the assignment, it's kind of straightforward questions, fill in the blank for the students. But the author of this problem has also put at the top of the assignment a bunch of links here that go to.
In this video, I want to
go to videos. And so you can embed videos into your homework assignments. You can even actually embed assessments into a video, which is a little bit advanced. Maybe the third workshop we'll talk about how to do that, different ways of displaying. But you can embed videos in here, whether they're directly here or each problem itself could have videos embedded in it. So if we want to check out the settings, we can either click here at the settings or come back here and go to the gearbox, and we can see what the settings are set as. So you can see here, this is where the author put the video links, was in the intro/instructions. So that's why it was at the top of the page. Right. So they chose to put the videos here. Here's where we can change different things. So this is number of versions, 100. I think that's the most. Yeah. How many you could set up if you want them to have some penalty for getting it wrong. You allow them to do multiple attempts, but give them a penalty. You could also set up, when do they get told the right answer? Is it like a quiz or a test? They don't get the right answer till after everything's been graded. If it's a homework, maybe you want them to see the right answer right away. So different things you can set there. You can shuffle the order, depends on, again, depending on what you want to be done. You could put a time limit, again, if it's an exam. So right now, this assessment has unlimited late passes, but my understanding is that since it's embedded inside of this course, and I think it was set up to be 5, that it'll honor that. But I could also say that even though the course allows late passes, this assignment I don't want to have late passes for some reason. We could put a time limit. Again, if it's like an exam, you could put a time limit. So this, okay, I babbled about this a little bit earlier about the key, whether you would need it. This right here, again, I wouldn't put a password on any of these unless this was going to be a test that you want to run inside of HonorLock. If you do that, then you do have to have it be password protected. They do. I learned how to do it this summer. And so that's so again, if anybody wants to do this or teach it online, they want to use Mom. I learned the hard way how to do that, but now I know how to do it. You can run a test in in Canvas under theme. Yeah, but so it's in HonorLock, it's you have all the main publishers and then you have a unknown third party. That's what this falls into, which it works just fine. And then, but it will ask you what's the password for it because it wants it protected. And so you give HonorLock the password. You do not give it to your students. You give HonorLock the password. And so when they go through HonorLock will put that password in. Probably. Yeah. So it probably all runs the same. Yeah, because that way students can't access the homework outside of HonorLock. That's really what that password's for. Again, you can, so especially if you're using other people's homeworks, a lot of the assessments have either hints already embedded into the problem, videos, some of them even have, worked out exercise, you have the problem worked out exactly. So again, depends on what you're using it for. You want those features or you don't. And so I could come in here if I've imported somebody, like I did here, I imported this assessment, but I don't want my students to be getting hints, then I just untoggle it here. And so it's just, if the hints exist, it will allow them, right now they'll be shown. Here's the, if you want your students to be able, and I really like this feature, you want your students to be able to email you, then make sure this is clicked so that they'll have a link that in the homework that says, please help me with this problem. And it's great. You get a little message and they can write what they're struggling with, but it also copies over, it copies over the assignment, the question into your email. You also get links to kind of data about what the students have done on that problem, how many attempts they've tried, what were their answers on all those attempts. So it's a really nice feature. Show answer entry tips. I don't know why I wouldn't want to give my students that. This is in the typesetting. Just if they have some kind of typesetting error, it'll give them a little warning. Like if it's expecting, an equation y equals mx plus b, and they just put mx plus b, it'll tell them, hey, this is not an equation. You're missing some stuff. You're missing an equal sign. And so, because it's frustrating, they get the right answer, but they didn't put it in the right format, and the students get, and then some other features like some grading feedback. I think this only works if they're actually running their LMS in MOM. So I don't think this kind of stuff goes over to Canvas. And then if you do group work, you can put the assignment into a group, right? So lots of settings, lots of things you can do. I'm just gonna save this as is. So let's create a new assessment. So I'm gonna open this up. So we're gonna make a new assessment. So let's down here make a new assessment, and we're gonna give it a name. Oops, I closed the wrong one. Shoot. So what did I tell you guys to do? Getting instructions, review options, great. Okay, that's basic. I'm going to keep everything the way it is. So once you get that set up, now you can add questions. And so again, this is where we have just a wealth. This is just a short list of libraries of problems that are out there. These actually, I think that's the library in right now are ones that I've created. But let's look at all it here. I'm gonna come here and select the libraries. And so again, just kind of show you where that was. Go to here, all library, come down to select libraries. And now let's just pick something from trigonometry or whatever you want. Let's do stuff with, I don't know, trig on circles, and triangle trig and angles. And I'm gonna use those libraries. So this is nice if you're, if you're trying to make an assessment and you know the topic, you can limit your library. And then even in here, I could, do something if I want to search. I don't know what's a nice trig question. It's law of sines, and now it'll restrict it down. These are all the questions that in that restricted view is law of sines, and I can preview, and I can say, okay, pretty standard question, find x. This one's a multi-part. I could tell up here because it says part 1 of 2. If I want to see all of them at the same time without having to give an answer. So now I can see all the parts of it. So this has 2 questions about triangles in it. I can also, if I'm just curious about how it randomly generates it, is it very random? Which I think is something I check out a lot with other people's, because sometimes they may make an assessment and it's static. I definitely want to make sure it's random. So I'll check to make sure what the new versions look like. And I can see, yeah, it keeps changing. That looks good. I like this problem. I want to add it. So I'm going to just click the mark. And now I could either go back to my list here, or I could just toggle through and take a look. It's like, oh, here's another problem. this one's a multiple choice. Oh, I see, because which rule would be the best method for finding X, right? So that seems like I like this one.
Justin,
Yes.
are you opening up the problems? Because we only see
Oh, you can't see. Okay, let me fix that. I thought I was sharing the whole screen. How's that? Can you see both screens?
yes.
Okay. Sorry, online people. Thanks, Martha. So I don't know. I don't like this one. It looks too busy. I like ones with triangles. There's a nice one. Sweet. Oh, this is nice. It's even got a calculator embedded in it. That's something we could do. Couple versions. So how much does it change? I can see 54 miles, 55. So it looks like it's the picture changes, stays the same because that's static, but these numbers are changing. So I like that. These are all questions that other professors have written. Yes.
So the ones that are lacking in questions, you would have to, I don't know, like the math or liberal arts.
Yes. Yeah. So something like that, would be, you'd be in the Wild West. So yeah, math for liberal arts is not very well supported. You go to the calculus, tons. You go to algebra, tons.
Yeah.
Trigonometry, tons.
There's even a lot of different equations, which,
That surprises me.
yeah, you can never find out.
So yes, there are areas I'm sure that are less supported than others. So okay, let's say I like these three questions. I'm going to close, and now I'm going to add them, right? So very similar to any of your homework systems you've used. I like those problems. I'm adding them, and now this is my loading station. So I can see, I could change stuff if I want them all be 1 point, or do I all make 10 points, or make some problems worth more than others. I could change the points. I can preview what my assessment's going to look like. So I'm going to go teacher view. And so we can see this is what our assessment would look like now to a student or to us. Let's say I want to add some text in between one of these problems. So I just add a text. I say, be sure to finish each, I don't know, problem in order. I don't know why, but that's what you should do. And save. And I don't want it there. I want it between question 1 and question 2. So now I've moved it up there. Right, so I can kind of navigate around. Let's say I want to embed a video into here. I would also use the text. Now I'm really going to be dangerous. Let's go to YouTube and math is power for you, and grab this one. Looks great. So
welcome to an introduction to functions.
Thank you. So if I go to share, and if I want to embed it, I don't know how many of you embed stuff in Canvas. It's going to be the same way. Just copy the iframe, and then you could come back over here to mom and can go to source code, paste it, and now that YouTube video is embedded directly into the assignment. So again, I could preview that if I wanted to. I gotta save it first. Save it, and then preview. So okay, so I went to, so now I did it as student mode. You can see I don't see all the questions at the same time because that I didn't set that. So I'd have to come to question maybe 3, and we can see the video is embedded in question 3. It's taking a while to load, but it's sitting right there inside of question 3, right below it. So you can put videos inside your assessments. I do this a lot in my calculus class because I want them to watch videos and do a problem. Watch a video, do a problem. And that works really well. So let's be done. Yep. And is there anything else I wanted you guys to do? Add problems, just like to click add, click text, already order, preview, done. Yeah, that's everything. So those are, and if you've built a homework in any of the other systems, it's not very different. So now let's say, this is not in the instructions, but this is for bonus. Let's say I look at this, let's preview this problem. I don't like the word best. The author liked it, but I'm a kind of person, I want to use optimal. I don't know why. I think it's better to say optimal, not best. So I want to change it. Okay, how do I do that? Well, come over here and I will edit now a personal copy of it. What this will do now is, now this will be an assessment that is mine. I'm the owner of it. Any changes I make to this does not affect anyone else. Now, this is something to keep track of. If you're using, so in fact, let's go ahead and let's preview this one again. No, I don't want to preview there. I want to preview, which one was it? I guess the choose best method. So if you go to this problem, we can see who's the author. It is Nick Chura. Nick Chura made this assessment. We put it into our assignment. Now, if Nick Chura ever decides to go back and change his copy of this, it will change everybody who's pointing at it. So if that is something that concerns you, and in some ways it might, you could go through and put them in here, then do exactly what I'm going to do right now and copy it. So now you are the owner of it. So now all it's done is made a duplicate. And so anything that Nick does won't affect your copy anymore. But if you don't have ownership of it, whatever he changes, it'll change. Now, that's actually to me a good feature, because if we're all working together on a class and you're working on one assignment, you're working on it, it's all imported, and we realize, oh my gosh, there's a bug in that problem. I go fix it, it automatically proliferates and everybody's gets fixed at the same time. So there's good things about it, but there are some, this is a little bit Wild West, nobody's monitoring this, so Nick could go and make changes and you wouldn't know. Now, I do believe that if other people are using your assessment and you go to make changes, there is, I think, a warning that this will affect other people. I'm not 100%, so hopefully he would be slow to do it.
But can I go and copy? I would have to do it for each individual.
You would have to do, well, yeah, so I would go, it's very easy. I go, okay, these are my 3 assignments. I'm just going to copy it right now, edit a personal copy, and save. And now, yes, we would have to do it for each question. But now you can see this is now local for me. I just changed it. I could do the same here, edit personal copy, save. And let's do it again. And save. All right. Now they're all my local copies. Now I don't have to worry about anybody screwing this up for me. Let's come back to the code. We are not going to get into this mess that's in this first window in this workshop. If that interests you, I encourage you. There's lots of videos that help you kind of make sense of this language, how to do the coding, what's going on. We're going to dig into this on the 3rd workshop that Jason's going to lead. So again, if that's interesting to you, we'll get there. This is just an overview. So this section right here is where all the random variables are made, all the equations are built, any kind of math that's going on is done there. The second box down here is the display. This is what gets printed onto the screen. And so, like I said, I didn't like the word best. I want to change it to optimal. And without a capital. And now let's preview, quick save and preview. We can see, sure enough, I have optimalt. I have optimalt, whatever that is, in there. So let's fix my typo, optimal. And there we go. So this isn't quite WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. This is actually, this box right here is all HTML code. But you don't have to, you don't have a lot of the headers and stuff like that. But pretty much if I want to type stuff, I just type it and the English will be put onto the screen. There's some typesetting here is because the author wanted to have a list. So there's some kind of tags and other features. But again, if you just want to edit some of the simple stuff, it's not hard. You get in and worst case, you break it, go back and copy it back in. Go back to the original source, copy it back in, no harm, no foul. That's why they don't allow you to edit the code directly. You can only edit your own personal code.
Use rights. So now that's private, nobody else can see your.
Exactly. Yeah, this is, so like I searched and found other people's assignments. If I keep it private, nobody can find this. So, and there's different levels, like, so again, if we're working together, I just want us to share it, then I can share with this group. You can allow people to use it, but not modify it. And then you can also allow people to modify it. You also have, since this is OER, we have the whole OER language here. How copyrighted is this? So if you're just taking a question out of a textbook, that's a copyrighted textbook, and put it in here, I think legally you can, but you would have to put, because I think that would be acceptable rights or acceptable, what is it, the correct uses or whatever. But you would have to say it's copyrighted material. If it's your own problem, you've created from scratch, then you could decide, do you want the whole world to be able to use it, share it, do whatever they want with it. So these are all the, public domain and Creative Commons license. And then this feature right here, what library it's in. So you know how it's been categorized, and right now this is unassigned, and I could say, well, I want to put it in some other library. I've been making so we have a Collin College. You guys should be able to see that library. And I've built my own library in it, and you can see I've got different categories in there just to save my stuff for future uses. I've done that. It's been a good practice for me. I think that's it. I kind of want to touch here. Oh, that's right. Okay, let's come down here and talk about what these features are down here. So like I said, if I wanted to, if this had it, I could add a detailed solution for this problem. Or I could, instead of that video that I just had, let's come back over here. Let's right there. I'm just going to copy the URL. And if I wanted to provide this as a video, not embedded into the problem, but if the student was struggling, they could click the video and watch it. Then I would put it right here, put the URL, and call it something. Since it's unrelated, I'll call it the unrelated video. And now if we take a look at the bottom, there's the question help video. Now, again, if you had your settings so the students couldn't see the video, even though you put it in, they wouldn't see it. But assuming that you have it set up that they get hints, get videos, then you would use that here. Let's save and be done. Okay, so that's importing a problem, just editing it. This is this is creating one from scratch. Again, just pulling the assignments. A lot out there. Any questions? Let's do that. Let's come back to question settings. So there is a whoops. I want to select a library and this one. So yeah, there's a whole library of just sample examples of doing that. So what'd you ask for? Like a short answer? Let's see if they've got an example. Essay would be an example. So
Then I have to.
you would have to grade it. Now, if you create it, there are some ways, depending on what you're looking for. If you're just what participation, a student could just get 100% if they write anything. If there's certain things you're looking for them to say, you could kind of have like a string match. Did they say these things? And I'll give some points for that. Oh, okay. So that would be a like a number function. That would be this. So simplify this expression, right? So they would type it in and you see they get the nice, this is, I know what you were looking for on your end, but
Yes.
they don't do that for you. They do it for students. Talk to Littman and tell you what that feature added. I think, no, is that his name? David Littman? Am I saying it right? I am amazed. I don't know that, I don't think that guy sleeps, because if you go onto the community, almost every post, there'll be other people reply, but he'll be replying too. And he'll be like, oh, I haven't figured out how to put that feature into here yet. Or I'm working on that feature. And maybe, but the voice every time feels like he's got a kind of a personality. He's definitely a math guy. He's got a mathy personality. He's straight to the point. and it's usually like, oh yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Or I've got my reasons for not making that a feature. Funny guy. So yeah, I would write this what positive exponent. So this would be what I would use 1 over x to the 8th, right? And I would submit and it says, yay, that's correct. So yeah, it does that. So my understanding of how that works, it isn't an algebra system like Mathematica that could actually recognize that they're algebraically equivalent. I think what it's doing, again, my understanding of reading the text is that it's evaluating what it thinks the correct answer is at like 1,000 points, and then evaluates the given answer. And if they agree, it says it's the same. You could tell here that if I put, let's put x to the -4 over x to the 4th, because of course that should be algebraically equivalent, but it should take it as wrong. Good, it does. So there are some things you could put in there when you build the problem that says this is the answer, and it can't, like, I think probably what they did is it can't have negative exponents. So it says not allowed negative. So if a student used it, it would get it wrong, even though it's algebraically equivalent.
1 over x to the 4th times x to the 4th.
That's a good question. So what are you saying?
Then combining the x to the 8th.
Probably because it only wants one. It's probably what's that?
That's something website would take.
You've got to be creative in when you make these rules.
Yeah.
Especially in these. I have a feeling probably what they did is they said it'll go through like only one carry allowed. No negative signs allowed. So it's kind of got to go through and establish. So it takes a little bit of art to put that restriction, but that is only if you're in an algebra class saying you want a particular answer you're looking for. I actually love it on my calculus side because I don't have to tell them put it in this form. They can put it in any equivalent form and the system will be pretty good about it.
And if you, just can you put, for example, equal in front of.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll tell me, yes. So this is where we're talking about giving the errors to the students. It's not quite in the right format. So something's not right here. You shouldn't have equal signs. So yeah. So yeah, you could do answers like that. They can do, let's just look at the examples. This is great. So this was you could just enter it in. You could do matching. So this is what match functions with its derivative, right? So I would just match. There are matrices. I could build a table and put the the result from the addition. what am I? Oh, this is, so this statistics, I've got a table in there. This is still just, so this would be a computed number. So it's expecting a value. We can put graphs and then again, comparison, more fill in. What's that? Is there one? Where do you see that? Plot 3D. Ooh.
Can you grab that?
Yeah, that looks like a Mathematica object. That is really cool. I know that I haven't played with this, but GeoGebra apparently works in here. So actually that may be GeoGebra, not Mathematica. So I think that's 100%. That's a GeoGebra object. And so, yeah, I know very little about GeoGebra, so I haven't played around with it, but yeah, both of these are, you know, so that's cool. So anyways, essays, files, you can upload files. I did this for my online. This was actually a really cool thing that I did with my Cal 2 online this summer. They took their exam and, you know, some of them was just straight, I didn't need to see any computations, but there at least 2/3 of them, I wanted to see their work. And so HonorLock won't allow them to upload, but I would have a statement on there, hey, when this exam is done, you're going to be asked to upload your work. So make sure you write it down neatly. And so then when it was done, they submitted and then immediately popped up, okay, upload your work for this problem, upload your work for this problem. When I went back in to grade it, it'd take me too long to find it. But when I went to go grade the assignments, you know, it would grade what they submitted as their answer, right or wrong. And then I could click a button and it would open up their work. And so I could see it right next to it, read their work. Oh, they made an algebra mistake here. All right, I'll give you some partial credit for that. And I could adjust their grade. Can you?
I have no upload their work.
Okay, so it's probably similar to that. And there they do it after they're done or before?
Before.
Yeah.
It has to be that 2-hour window that I gave them for the honor.
But are they still in HonorLock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't, because, well, they could upload if they were, if I don't want to use the word smart enough, tech savvy enough, but all of them wanted to email to themselves and then grab it from the email and put it in, and HonorLock wouldn't allow them to open up the email. So I found a workaround, but again, this is a night, so.
Okay. I haven't tried that with the honor lock. You're right.
Because students, I can walk them through how to do it without having to do their email, but they still, anyways.
It was just lab. It was
Yeah, that I'm sure. So anyways, these are all lots of good topics that as our community grows, we can have these conversations again. So we are about 15 minutes left. Okay, so let's get this into Canvas now. So this is our course. It is what it is. I wouldn't share it with anybody, but we'll play with it. So here are the instructions. You guys can just follow along with me. Stop me if you've got any questions. It should be pretty straightforward. So to export, oops, I went too fast. It's in your left navigation screen. So right where we copied from, right below that, we're going to export. You can export an entire course, which we'll do this go around. Again, I have found sometimes that, you know, I've got the course running and I realize, oh, halfway through the semester, I needed to make some changes. Make the changes in MyOpenMath, and then I could just export that little piece. So I'll just show you, instead of the entire course, I could just say, oh, I only want to export exercise 1.1. But I'm going to export the entire course. I'll show you. So make sure, again, this button should be clicked, but again, make sure that's been a headache to me. So I'd stress that. I like it opening in Canvas, but if you want your students to open it somewhere else, then you could just click that button. I unclick this. Sometimes it's been clicked for me. What this does, so this is a weird thing. So let's say I build all my assessments in Canvas or in MOM, and I didn't set the date. So it's some default like end of the semester, or beginning of the semester, either one. Some default date is in there. And I import into Canvas and I change the dates in Canvas, and Canvas has it all set up right. And it even goes back and tells MOM what the dates are. So you're not going to get told that they're being late. But at the top of the assessment, it will still print what MOM thinks the due date is. So I just make sure that that's not clicked, because sometimes students will come back to me like, I understand the assignment said it's due at the beginning of the semester, but it's also due, in November. Which one do I follow? So just to avoid that confusion, this is just something that students will see. And then I download the cartridge. So where it's going to download on your guys' computers. Are you in Chrome? Oh, I don't know if Chrome's should have a button where you could just find it. I think Firefox would show you too. So then let's come to Canvas. And I'm going to import into one of my sandboxes. Which one? I think one of these is calculus. This one. Okay. So we'll import existing content. Go to content type. So the content type is going to be common cartridge. Again, these instructions are in MOM, and I think they're in my list that I've built up too.
Download template. Because they send you the cartridge.
Is it?
Yeah, they send you that INSC.
Yeah.
File.
So then we'll choose our file. Hopefully you can navigate to it. Click it. And I'm going to go ahead and do all content. Again, you could select again. Actually, I would recommend, even if you told MOM to export just one assignment, it still will export the module it was part of and some other features. And so if you just want it to be an assignment and not add anything to your modules, I would still say select specific content to declick some of those things. But in this case, I don't care. I'm just going to import, and it will take a minute. I chose not to this time. You could, if you knew. Oh, so that's so let's say in MOM, I built all my due dates for last semester, and I wanted Canvas to kind of use those dates again. Then I'd say import, but adjust everything by 4 months or whatever it is. But again, typically the way my style is, I just kind of build a shell in MOM and leave the dates are meaningless. And I don't do that. I don't adjust the dates till they get by hand until they get into Canvas. So it's completed. Let's look at assignments. We'll see, we should have a couple of assignments just came over. Right. This is the one I just made, or these are the two I made, and this is the two I imported. So they just get imported as default. Yeah, so I just make everything worth 100, and then it just even though in MyOpenMath it thinks it's only worth 1 point. Let's say they have 5 problems, so it's worth 5 points. Then if I in Canvas tell them, well, the assignment's worth 100, then each one will just be worth a percentage. It would be 20%. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm wondering if I've been doing it the long way the whole time now.
I don't know. This is how I've always done it, even with Pearson and all of them, that the numbers don't, because, uh-huh.
If it says 4 points over in test gen, it comes over in the Canvas quizzes as point.
Oh, because it thinks it's a percentage. Then you could,
But I could adjust from test gen maybe 400. Yeah. Then it goes over to 4. But
you could do it right here,
right
right? So in the edit, you can say, I don't want this 330. I want it again, 100. And now in Canvas, it'll post it correctly as a percent, essentially as a percentage. Worth the price of admission? So here we are in assignments. I'll show that it also brings over the modules. So I come over to modules and yeah, this is everything, right? So oh, I guess this was outside of a module, but this was the instructor FAQs. Notice that it's unpublished because that's was its settings in MyOpenMath. Here's the workshop activities. Now they don't have the nice drop-down menus because Canvas doesn't like to give you more than one level of drop. I don't understand Canvas, but so that's the one feature in MOM that I like, that you can collapse things, but the workshop activities are there. That's one block, and then everything's kind of blocked in the same order. So really how you see it in Canvas gets blocked over here. It comes over to your grade book. We should see all our assignments in grade book kind of naturally. There they are. I'm the only student, but so, and probably the last thing I want to say here, let's say you imported your whole course over into Canvas. And again, you realize, oh, let's go back to MOM. Where did it go? Oh, because they're here. Let's say I come back to here and I realize I don't really want this law of signs in this assignment now. I changed my mind. Provided no student has worked this assignment yet, I can change and adjust these questions. So let's say I don't want this anymore. I want to delete it. I'm going to remove it. I do not need to now export this assessment, because in Canvas, if a student goes into assessment, it points to MyOpenMath. So it directs it over there. So it isn't like, okay, I changed it over here, now I have to re-export it into Canvas. It will, so I should have kept it there. Let's undo it. Let's make sure. What was it? Easy peasy? Oh no, it wasn't this one. It was. Anyways, I guess it doesn't really matter. No. All right, so let's just go back to this one. So let's go into here. Let's go to assignments. Easy peasy. So, oh, okay. I actually really don't want to do this. That's right. The first, so this is the last thing I forgot about this. So the first time you import into Canvas, you need to tie them together somehow, right? You need to be able to sync grades and let students assign into it. So you have one of two options. Again, my model, I build course shells. And so I don't want Canvas to be importing student information into my course shell over in MyOpenMath. And so I create a copy of it. And so now if I do that, it'll immediately create a new class in MyOpenMath that's a direct copy of what I just imported in. Otherwise, I could use an existing course. I'm going to do that for this purposes. I don't think that's good practice, but just for purposes here, I don't want to. So now they're synced. You only have to do it once, and now it's done. When students come into Canvas to work a homework problem, they will click the assignment and it'll immediately pop up. They don't have to register for anything. They don't have to add anything. It'll immediately create an account for them in MyOpenMath, pulling all of their data, their emails, their names, and all that, and it'll automatically populate your gradebook in MyOpenMath. It does that syncing completely blind to the students. So this problem right now, like I said, it's got these. Let's say I want to get rid of this question 1. So notice it's here right now. This is the one about SOHCAHTOA. So I'm going to go back. Let's come over to MyOpenMath, and is that this one? Yeah. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. So we're done. That should be updated there. And then if I come back to mom and say I want to do that problem again. Did I lie to you? Yeah, I think it just will take a minute, but well, it's not going away now. That may be part of the, it could be that. Well, anyways, it works. It works. I've done it a bunch where you make changes in mom and it'll automatically be recognized again, because as you see, and you can probably see this, this is not Canvas anymore. We've got MyOpenMath essentially embedded inside of Canvas. But the students don't know unless they click around. I think if they click here, yeah, well, this is because I'm the teacher. I go to, and it's not available. Anyways, all right, we're at the end of time. Let me see in the chat. I think you refresh. Oh, that may be the case, Martha. Thank you. So probably that's the case. All right. Any questions? I hope this was useful. Like I said, I would love to see more people using MyOpenMath, just because I just personally think the more we can work on equitability for students, the better we're serving our community. We're not asking them to pay 40, 80, whatever it is now to do the homework systems. I know that there are benefits to having publishers systems. They're supported, but I don't know where they're going.
There are so many hassles too.
There are big hassles.
So that $1,500 grant that they were offering us to create our own course is probably not worth it.
Why?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking at. I was going, oh, because there's no math for robotics books, there's
Right.
none of that. And then I was looking,
Have you-
$1,500?
Have you seen the new?
Like,
Have you seen the new grant? You're talking about the farmers
Yeah.
insurance,
yeah.
but
They're only offering $1,500.
there.
That's-
But if you read it closely, it can just be adapting some of existing. You don't have to build a full course. So if you can look at it as like, yeah, you could see that there's a lot of work that needs to happen for math, for liberal arts. But you could write your grant like, I'm going to take what's out there. How can I adapt it to what we're doing? And the vision being, okay, well, we'll have a roadmap for where we need to go to grow this out. I think there's ways you could write the grant that you're not over working yourself. Yeah. Okay, some more chats have come up. Yes.
And working as a team, I think really does help a lot.
She said, Martha said, working as a team really helps a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll so Martha, Monica, oh my gosh, who was with us?
Katerina,
Katerina. That was the 4 of us, right?
right.
we all worked together to build the question bank for the assessment for calculus. And that was such a cool exercise, just us coming together. We spent a weekend building problems from scratch, and we all learned a lot. So yeah, that, and I think that's kind of what our vision when the third session with Jason is, that's kind of be kind of like a hackathon of, okay, you've played around with MyOpenMath, you know a little bit enough about it. Let's build a question from scratch. Let's make just from ground up. What would it look like? Depending on your background, you may look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do that. It's actually a really straightforward. You don't have to know a lot of computer stuff to make it work. So I think it's accessible.
Template is already.
Template, yeah, there's lots of templates you can steal from people,
Yeah.
not steal. You can creatively borrow from people. So, all right, exactly. So again, my hope is that this is the start of a good group, a community that grows. All right. Thank you, online people. I am going to sign out.